अब हम मेरा ख्याल है कि लाइव हैं। एक मिनट, आई गेस वी आर लाइव नाउ।
We are live.
Yes, we are live now finally. And welcome to Kick Off Conversation. And अब काफी ऐसे
Sue.
एक एक सीन यहाँ पे भी बची है।
हाँ, आज तो सू होगा।
तो पहले तो सबको मुबारकबाद हो कि हमने एक बहुत बड़ी साइनिंग की है। तो आप लोगों के क्या तासुरात है?
जी काशिफ आप बताइए।
नहीं काशिफ, आपकी आवाज फिर मेरा ख्याल है हेडफोन्स का कोई मसला है। आप मेरा ख्याल है उसके बगैर बोल लो।
अब आ रही है
अब आ रही है।
हाँ हाँ, अब सही है, अब सही है।
और अब आ रही है।
अब
अभी भी आ रही है।
ओके, अच्छा। मैं ये कह रहा था कि जो सरकमस्टांसेस बन चुके थे वो पिछले 2 दिनों में, तो ना वो इस तरह दिल ना, मतलब धक 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 यार, ये क्या होना जा रहा है यार। मतलब वो पूरे पूरे फोल्डर पड़े हुए अभी भी यार लैपटॉप पे, रोनाल्डो की तस्वीरों के, वो फैन बॉयज के, और वो कोर्स लेजेंड है वो क्लब का। लेकिन इन द एंड अच्छा फैसला उसका, हमारा भी उसका भी, हमने स्नैच कर ली डील। एक वैसे इमोशनल मोमेंट है बहुत ज्यादा, मतलब एज जिन्होंने देखा हुआ है वो आ रहा, और उसके बाद वो मतलब चला गया। जाहिर ही बात है बहुत ज्यादा यूनाइटेड फैन जो हैं वो बात के हैं, उस टाइम के हैं लेकिन कम है। तो लेकिन वो एक गोल्डन टाइम था, वो एक किस्म का रिकॉल हो गया, और एक्साइटेड प्लस इमोशनल। और जिस
आ रही है आपकी आवाज। काशिफ, आपकी आवाज बहुत आ रही है। वी हैव बीन जॉइंड बाय अली इकबाल।
आवाज आ रही
वेलकम
है
टू किक। हाँ जी, आवाज आपकी आ रही है। वेलकम टू किक ऑफ कन्वर्सेशन। And we always do a broadcast before the match and before any transfer, after the transfer. तो मेरा ख्याल है कि आपकी शायद पहली एंट्री, हम वैसे करते रहते हैं लेकिन अभी काफी लंबा ब्रेक आया हुआ था क्योंकि कोई ट्रांसफर भी नहीं हुई। तो अभी एक बहुत बड़ी ट्रांसफर थी, तो इसके बाद तो ब्रॉडकास्ट बनता था।
ग्लैड टू जॉइन यू, ग्लैड टू जॉइन। और आज तो बनता ही था ऑब्वियसली। इतना रोलर कोस्टर ऑफ अ डे, पता नहीं लास्ट टाइम कब था। सुबह मैं रात को, आई रिमेम्बर, मैंने रात को दोस्त को मैसेज किया यार क्लब का क्या होना है, और उसने कहा कहता ट्रॉफी भूल जा। और मैंने उस मैसेज का रिप्लाई भी वापस नहीं किया उसको। मैं इतना डिप्रेस था सोते हुए। मैंने कहा हमने वरान सांचो साइन कर ली है और स्टिल वी नॉट गोइंग टू विन अ ट्रॉफी, क्योंकि अगर सिटी ऑब्वियसली ले लेती इसको तो लुकाकू वगैरह वो मुश्किल हो जाना था हमारे लिए। तो सरियल डे बहुत, अभी तक धक 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 खत्म नहीं हुआ। बस स्टिल वंडरिंग कि मेरी पल्स ही नॉर्मल नहीं हो रही।
बहुत इमोशनल। तो क्या कहें, कैसी मतलब ओवरऑल हमें मतलब किस तरह फायदा होगा रोनाल्डो से इस सीजन?
यार रोनाल्डो से फायदा इस तरह होगा, एक तो ऑन द पिच तो ऑब्वियसली ही इज अ ह्यूज प्रेजेंस मेरे हिसाब से, लेकिन ऑफ द पिच मेसन ग्रीनवुड, रैशफोर्ड, मार्शियल, वो जो बेनिफिट करेंगे, ही लीव यू अ वेरी गुड स्क्वाड आफ्टर 2 years। सैंचो वगैरह को द वे ही विल इम्प्रूव, और जैसे मेसन ग्रीनवुड एज अ स्ट्राइकर उसको देखेगा, वो जो इम्पैक्ट छोड़ेगा वो दैट कैन नॉट बी मेट बाय एनी अदर प्लेयर। और दूसरा एक बात ये कि जो वो मेंटालिटी लेकर आता है वो विनिंग मेंटालिटी है कि हमने जीतना है। उसके बाद 2 साल है, 2 साल के अंदर उसने प्रीमियर लीग भी जीतनी है, यूसीएल भी जीतनी। तो वो उस मेंटालिटी को वो जब वो ड्राइव इन करेगा बाकी प्लेयर्स के अंदर, दैट वुड बी जस्ट ह्यूज फॉर द क्लब।
एग्जैक्टली। और हमें काशिफ ने दोबारा ज्वाइन कर लिया है और हमें चौधरी इफ्तिखार ने ज्वाइन किया। वेलकम टू किक
आवाज आ
ऑफ
रही है।
कन्वर्सेशन। हाँ जी, हाँ जी, आपकी आवाज आ रही है।
ओके ओके।
Hi guys, Assalamualaikum.
हेलो, वालेकुम सलाम। क्या कहेंगे आप रोनाल्डो ट्रांसफर के बारे में?
You want me to speak?
Yes, I want you to speak.
I,
How big is
I'm
the transfer?
I'm the old guy of this group, I think. So I've been watching
You are the
Man United.
oldest, I guess.
Definitely, I think so. But I've been watching Man United for many years. I've been a season ticket for many years. Obviously, this year because I've moved country, I won't be going to as many games. But I still have my season tickets, and I will be going. But yes, you don't believe how happy I am today. Even though I know he's old and he's going to do maybe 20 games instead of the full season, it doesn't matter. He will lift the whole team, and he sends a statement out to the rest of the teams that we mean business. And for the young guys there like Greenwood, Rashford, even Martial, he'll give these players Sancho a lift like you wouldn't believe. Just to have him, watch him train, his professionalism, you can't beat that. And the fact that our stock price has gone up by 280 million, I think he's just paid for himself.
Exactly. Big transfer. Khuldoon, what are your views?
So I like Iftikhar. I'm also among the older lot. I mean, I remember grew up watching Eric Cantona, so that's how old I am. So
I'm older
even
than
so, I remember as a kid watching United in the 90s. So I go way back. So I'm among the older lot as well. But even so, I mean, like Iftikhar said, like everyone's saying, today is an emotional moment. I shared my views on the potential transfer a few weeks ago on how it might impact on the pitch. But today is all about the emotions, about the homecoming. So that's all. That's all there is to say today.
on a light note.
Okay.
We all play fantasy Premier League, and I have a rule: I never have a Liverpool player in my team. I finished fourth last season without a single Liverpool player. But this year, I'm going to have Ronaldo in my team. And the last time I won the league in another league was Ronaldo was my captain. So
Ronaldo FC.
top tip for you guys. You know what I mean? It's guaranteed.
Absolutely essential. I guess many people would be using wildcard this week to get Ronaldo in.
100%. 100%.
I'm going to lose -4. I don't care. As soon as
Actually, yesterday I was talking to a friend. सब ये बात कर रहे थे. Everyone was talking about कि are we going to have Ronaldo in our teams or not? I was so pissed off. मैं क्या, I am not going to have Ronaldo in my team, whatever, even if I lose that game. So he was like, I'll use your. He was a City fan. He said, I'll use your free hit if you put in Ronaldo. मैं क्या done. आज ही said मैं क्या अपना Ronaldo डाल रहा हूँ. अब मैं तुम्हारी free hit use कर रहा हूँ.
yesterday everybody honored because they were saying Ronaldo is going to go to City. I didn't believe it for 1 minute. I thought Jorge Mendes is, buttering up the other clubs. Say, look, move the negotiation tactic, or else he's going to go somewhere else. So it makes Man United move a bit quicker. I think Jorge Mendes is a clever agent. I think that's what he was doing behind the scene. They always do that with players, offer to the next club so the other club moves quicker. And plus, the transfer window shuts next Tuesday. So, it's happened now. I think that's it.
Yes, absolutely. Big day, big transfer. How do you guys think this transfer could impact our less number of trophies in the coming season? So, can we win a trophy now with Ronaldo?
I'm confident we will. We're very close last year. I think I've watched this team redevelop under Ollie. And when Ollie took over, I think those guys, me particularly, I knew he needed 2 or 3 years because he had so much people to move on, the likes of, Young, Lukaku didn't want to play. They moved him on. We have Rojo in the back. We've still got Jones. He was a good player, but he's always injured. So all these players needed to, Valencia, all these players was an aging team, different legacies from different. So
exactly.
they needed to move on. So he's done a good job and built a team. And people that say about Ollie's management, remember these players want to play for him. Sancho has come, Brown has come. It's not just Manchester United; it's the manager as well.
एग्जैक्टली और आप क्या कहेंगे बाकी काशिफ आप क्या कहेंगे we cannot hear you properly Kashif I think maybe you can switch back can go out and go in again
I don't want to say anything negative today. I don't want to be skeptical at all. I don't want to discuss the possibilities. But since we are on the subject, I don't think Ronaldo will help us. Uh, with if I don't want to say it, but since we are on the question, he's not going to play 38 games for you. He's not going to play the entire league. He might help us in the Champions League. He's going to be an immense figure in the Champions League mentally as well, and of course his pedigree in the competition is huge. No question about that. We will definitely progress in the Champions League, but unfortunately for us, progress would mean even qualifying from our group is progress for us right now. So let's not get carried away. Let's not start thinking about trophies all of a sudden. Let's see how the team gels. But I completely agree in terms of the impact on the younger players, Greenwood, Rashford, Sancho, in terms of how they would be groomed for the coming years. This is huge.
आवाज आ रही है भाई अब?
yes
Okay, फिर जल्दी बोलने दो मुझे फिर ना चली जाए
हाँ जी बोले
हाँ मैंने आप सबकी बातें सुनी और इट वाज एन मैं बता रहा था कि ये ना इमोशनल हैप्पी मोमेंट था बिकॉज मुझे लगता है जितने भी आज हम मतलब इस मीटिंग में है जाहिर बात है बहुत पुराने इतने पुराने हैं कि वो रोनाल्डो
नहीं आपकी फिर आवाज cannot hear you properly
I can't hear him.
yes we cannot hear you properly maybe Ali you can maybe go on
Gee, in my opinion, I think if you're not going to win a trophy this season, we're not gonna win it anytime soon. Then there are absolutely no excuses for Ole at this point in time. In my opinion, we have to win a trophy this season. We were very close last season, and I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Ole fan. I think he has his shortcomings, he has his tactical flaws, but to say that he has not brought this team forward in the last 2 or 3 years would be wrong. I think he has brought us way forward than where we were 2 or 3 years ago. The environment around the club was very toxic, and I was a Jose fanboy, to be honest with you. I was wrong. I thought he was going to win us the Champions League, he was going to win us the Premier League, he was the second coming of Jesus for us, but that did not happen. So I might be wrong with Ole. I think he has his tactical issues. I think he is that final missing piece in our club where we need a world-class manager. But who am I to say something? I think I would love to be proven wrong by him. I would love to win a trophy this season, but in my opinion, we have to win a trophy this season. This team is world-class. This team is capable of winning the Premier League and the Champions League. Every team has its shortcomings. Every team has its shortcomings. City played the final last season without a proper centre forward. Chelsea had Werner up top. So to say that we don't have a CDM, to say that हमारे पास पूरी team नहीं, that's just wrong. But this team is capable of winning the Premier League, in my opinion. Let's see where we go from here.
Yes, and we have been yes.
Now we got so much attacking flair.
Yep.
So much. So I think every game in 5-4. Who cares about defense?
We've got Varane.
It reminds me of the last season of Fergie when we won the title. We didn't care about defense at all.
No, we didn't care. We're going to score more than them. That's
exactly
that should be the philosophy going forward. I mean, I think the best signing for me this year. I mean, I love Ronaldo. Don't get me wrong. Is got to be. We needed that kind of guy. We needed him with his experience on that side to help Maguire. And we saw the last few games of the season. And, the final without Maguire there, we looked really ordinary. Really, really ordinary. So shaky. And I realized then that, we needed somebody else. So now, even if Maguire has a couple of days off and Varane is fit, we should be okay. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Bay's, he makes me laugh because he goes in full blooded and gets injured, but you don't want to change him. You want him to stay the same. But sometimes you think, yeah, take it easy a little bit, but he doesn't. But um, as far as optimism is concerned, every season we're always up to, last season I didn't think we were going to, I thought we'll finish top four, would have been a good season, and the team gel, and we knew we're 2 or 3 signings short. This season, do we need a world class CDM? Yes, we do. However, if you look at the scales or pivot the scales, you've got a fantastic defense, and now you've got arguably one of the best attacks in the world. If I don't know a team that has what we've now got: Sancho, Greenwood, Ronaldo, Bruno, Pogba, Rashford. It's Cavani. That's just frightening. That's just unbelievable. It's like fantasy football kind of thing. How the hell did we get all them players in one go? And we worry about Ronaldo playing 38 games. No, I don't think he can. Maybe can. He's just he's superhuman. However, we have Cavani as well, so we've got different players for different types of teams. He will make runs. Will Ronaldo? He will assist, and as well he's going to finish. So, people will learn off him. I mean, I think Greenwood is our future number 9. I still think that. I think learning from Cavani. Look at the improvement of Greenwood with Cavani being there. He's been, even though we knew he was a great finisher, he's now getting clever with everything else. So I think, you take him to a whole new level to learn from Ronaldo. And look at the bright side. At 38, that's when his contract finishes. If we're lucky, he'll stay on in the management team as a coaching role. So maybe there's that for you've got to look at these things. You've got him there, you keep him. Will he bow out to football at 38? Or maybe he'll go to someone like Qatar for a season. I don't know. Last payday, but let's just hope we get 2 good seasons out of him and see where we are.
Yes, absolutely. My next question is that is it like do or die season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if we finish trophyless this season? What do you guys say?
I think so. I think so. I think he has to. He's been to semi-finals. He's now been to a final. He's now even winning a domestic trophy. We lift the team. But what we do have now. We've got Sancho, who's a league winner. We've got Ronaldo. He's a winner. You've got Varane, who's a winner. All these people, Pogba's a winner. Bruno's a winner. So suddenly you've got a mentality, 6-7 players that have won things, and then you've got likes of Rashford, Martial, McTominay, even Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. They can learn off them. They can feed off their positivity, the fact that these guys have won it, Cavani as well. So, the balance of the team before was you had the majority of the team were young, but they not won much. Whereas now you've got a core of the team that have won multiple trophies in multiple leagues, whether it's the World Cup or whether it's European Championships, they've won it. Do you know what I mean? Or a Ballon d'Or winner. You've got that in your side. So it's not excuses, but obviously the players have to deliver, but the team he's built and the way he's done it and the way he's conducted himself with all the criticism that he's had, I've supported him. And my luck is that I give up my season tickets this season. I've still got them, and my friends are going to go because I've obviously moved countries. But I will be going back soon to watch a game, and then Ronaldo comes back. So everybody's been messaging me. I feel now I goes, not very.
Yes, but now we have always been crying for squad depth. But as this picture, you can see maybe my screen,
Yeah,
we have a lot of squad depth right now. So we have Sancho, Greenwood, Amad Diallo is on loan. So we have on the right wing also options up front. Ronaldo, Cavani, Martial can play. Rashford, James can play on the left as well as Pogba can play there as well. Then we have Fernandes, Mata as well. Then McTominay, Matic. So maybe we have a lot of squad depth here. Only maybe a single CDM is missing. So when I think our formation should be 4-3-3 instead of 4 2-1-3 that we play. So you should play 4-3-3, but for that 4-3-3, you have to have Fernandez, Pogba, and one CDM, proper CDM, which we don't have right now. We
You
have
know,
to play either Fred or McTominay at that position. So that is where I think we lag. Otherwise, I think this is a complete lineup.
just for a curveball in, Alex Ferguson always played 4-4-2. Yeah, we now have to
Yes,
play
but times
play
have
four.
changed. Now,
Yes, but we
no one's.
play now. Imagine having Ronaldo and somebody who's got legs playing alongside him, and then you've got wingers like Sancho and Greenwood or Martial or Rashford at the side. You can. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that they will play that, but they can resort to that kind of tactic when teams, put 10 people behind the ball, which is going to happen a lot, especially with United. It happens. And season, not last season, the season before, if you remember, we used to have difficulty breaking teams down, and then Bruno came, and then we started unpicking teams who were defensive minded. We used to draw because we couldn't unpick. They used to park the bus, as they say, and we couldn't get past them. Now we can play different formations, not just uh, uh, 4-3-3 or 4-2, false number, a floating midfielder and three up front. We can play different formations with what they've got, but more attacking formations. I think Ollie's
Yes.
all worried about his defence. Does he now need two central holding CDMs? Now he's got Varane and he's got Maguire, because Varane's got pace. So that always used to be. Lindelof is not the quickest, and Bailly wasn't the
Yes.
quickest.
Hopefully,
So
we don't see Fred and Matic again.
yeah, there was no, Fred that's just played for Brazil. The last 2 months was unbelievable. If anybody saw any of that, he was
Yep.
probably the player of the tournament. He was that good. So if we can get that Fred, then we're laughing. But the Fred that we saw last week was, unfortunately, the Fred that we see often.
आप क्या कहेंगे?
कौन
अदीब?
मेरे से बात कर रहे
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, आप क्या कहेंगे?
हैं किस हवाले से
क्या क्वेश्चन था मेरा? हमारी बेस्ट फॉर्मेशन क्या है?
हाँ मेरे हिसाब से आई डोंट थिंक वी कैन प्ले अ 4-4-2 और इट्स नॉट लाइक आई हेट द फॉर्मेशन आई वाज एक्चुअली थिंकिंग just a day 2 or 3 years ago कि यार 4-4-2 शायद खिला सकते हैं लेकिन the problem with 4-4-2 would be कि how are you going to fit in Bruno in that या तो फिर उस तरह का कोई sort of कुछ कर लें लेफ्ट स्ट्राइकर ब्रूनो कर लें the way he was playing against Leeds जो राइट स्ट्राइकर खेल रहा था कहीं पे ब्रूनो थोड़ा सा आगे ही था तो हो सकता है 4-4-2 you can play 4-4-2 लेकिन one problem would be Bruno in a 4-4-2 formation. The second would be कि you need to have two proper midfielders जो मतलब who can actually
Exactly.
hold the castle and you do not have two midfielders who can hold the castle in a 4-4-2. That's the problem.
We need a Scalzi and a Carrick type midfielder. We don't have
और
that.
Aquino और Scolzi something like that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Modric वगैरह के साथ एक Declan Rice और Modric something like that इस तरह कुछ combination हो तो फिर समझ आती है.
नहीं 4-4-2 तो out of question. I think we would more
4-3-3
more likely be playing with 4-3-3 most
4-3-3 भी
probably.
कमाल पे उसमें the problem is कि you need वो जो तीन की जो mid है ना उसके अंदर जो पीछे मैटिच जो रोल खेलेगा उसके अंदर you need a proper you either need Matic 10 years younger or you need a new midfielder तो
Yes.
वो पता नहीं कहाँ से आएगा वरना क्योंकि उसके आगे जो दो आपने खिलाने हैं that those would be Bruno and Pogba तो अब उसके पीछे एक proper destroyer midfield destroyer होना चाहिए.
But guys, it's a good problem to have. We never had this
Definitely.
वली भाई आप क्या कहेंगे?
I think as has been already said, just putting this team together itself is a statement. That much we can all agree with. That we could not have imagined, this lineup playing for us at least this season. But the issue with that, or it's a good problem to have, is that now you have characters like, of course, you have Ronaldo, but you have Varane, multiple-time Champions League winners. Solskjaer would have to manage all these characters as well, these personalities. And, let's not forget, Ronaldo used to be Solskjaer's teammates from 2003 to 2007. Injury-plagued years for Solskjaer, obviously. So, there's a lot of, factors going on. I agree with with regards to formation, I completely agree. 4-4-2 is obviously not going to happen. 4-3-3 is, I think, is going to be the likelier um, formation. Pogba might play a bit deeper than he has been over the past couple of weeks, definitely, because now you have Ronaldo, and especially when Rashford is back, you'll probably see Rashford, Greenwood, them playing much forward. So let's see how it goes. But I think we have a team that can win you any trophy. It's just how quickly they gel together. That's the question.
The
Yeah.
only way I can see us playing 4-3-3 is with Pogba on the wing, but when Rashford's back, Pogba's not going to play on the wing. So if Pogba goes on the wing, you can put Matic in the at the top, and with Bruno you can put someone like McTominay or maybe like Fred. So that could be a 4-3-3 possibility. With Pogba and with Bruno, I don't think a 4-3-3 with Pogba and Bruno in the center is possible.
Yeah. My own.
I don't think Matic will get any game time at all. I don't. I think
Yes,
it's the kind
he
of
should
team that
not
he's
get
put
it.
together is. There's a lot of high tempo, a lot of quick movement. Matic cannot keep up with the pace. I don't think
No, I
he'll
don't
get
think
it.
Matic is into the criteria. Matic is now a squad player like Mata. I don't think he's a first team starter. I think Matic only played because McTominay was injured, and now we know
Injury.
he has surgery. So Matic the next few weeks might play. It depends how long it'll take McTominay to get fit. But the other, because of the Varane signing, I think you don't need two CDMs. I think you'll have um, back four: Varane, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, and then you'll have McTominay's fit. I believe McTominay or Fred, one of them to just one player, will sit in front of them, and then you'll have the two of um, Pogba and Bruno, and then you got your pick centre forwards. I think he'll resort to playing just one holding midfielder because Pogba can track back and Bruno tracks back as well. But then you've got the pace of Varane, so I believe he'll. The only reason I think he has two defensive midfielders because he never trusted his defence. He's we all know Lindelof. He's weak in the air and people can run past him. So I don't think you'll have that issue with Varane. As long as Varane stays fit, inshallah, I think we'll only use one CDM. I don't think we need two. I think that's especially with Ronaldo now as a focal point. You might play for 60 minutes and come off that kind of thing, and then we put pace at the end, or when teams are tired. So there's a lot more options than we
Bring
had
on
before.
Greenwood. Mm, yes, absolutely. One question that I have now is what is the future of Donny van de Beek at Manchester United?
I think this season he'll play a lot more. If you saw him in pre-season and saw him when he came, did you notice how much he's bulked up, how much he's
Yeah.
bigger?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the United way. So he was too light. I think they believed for the Premiership. So even look at it. We talk about Ronaldo. Who remembers Ronaldo's first season? He was too lightweight. He was little. Do you know what I mean? He used to do that thing with his feet, and they used to kick him off the ball. And
But he still was playing. We don't see Van de Beek play. Even as in the EFL Cup or FA Cup, he doesn't get enough game time. I don't think
I
Ole
think
he deserves that treatment from Ole.
I think this season he will because Van der Beek hasn't complained publicly, and if you look behind the scenes training sessions, I think this season he'll play. This season he'll bring him into a team where we don't need a CD. We don't need a holding midfielder where the teams are sitting back. So you could bring him on to open up defenses, and he'll give Bruno a rest. The only reason he doesn't get into a team because Bruno's so good, but you need to give Bruno a rest
And
because
Bruno always wants to play.
yeah. But look at last season. At the end, how tired was Bruno? He looked
Yes.
up. So you need to rest Bruno as well. So I think Van der Beek will step up this year. I do believe he'll play more. Obviously, last season to this season, he what they call it, acclimatized to the Premiership. But he looked thinner. But when I saw him in pre-season and how much he bulked up, I thought, okay, you're ready now.
Yeah. Hopefully, he doesn't turn into a Lukaku. But yes, hopefully, let's see.
I don't think he's talented, but it's like you guys. If you were the manager and you had a choice, on a match day, who pick Bruno or Van de Beek because they're both same role, same position, and that's his problem.
Also,
Yes.
just the fact, yeah, I don't think that Bruno is the direct that Van der Beek can only play Bruno's position. I think he can play Pogba's position, but the problem is that when uh, Bruno is fit and when Pogba is fit, both of them will play 95 to 97% of the matches. We can rest them for the other 4-5% matches. So
Yeah,
that's a big problem.
that,
Uh, it's not like that. I am really actually angry at Ole because there were opportunities to play Van de Beek. He did not play him. There was mistake on his part as well, but we have to understand that he's competing with Pogba and Bruno. And when
Even
both
the
of them,
second match, this match against Southampton, I think this was a
yep,
match
yep, he
made
has to
for
play.
Van der
He
Beek
should
to
have played.
come and change it.
He
But
should have played.
we
He should
exactly,
have definitely
yes.
played. Yep.
Right now, he's also competing with Lingard. He's further down the pecking order. He's further down. As compared, Lingard is
yeah.
above Van de Beek in the pecking order. So that's but he'll probably win
That
one
is
more.
the problem.
So yeah, if you count him as an attacking midfielder, then if you look at United's forward line, it's frightening.
I think he'll also play with the CDM, whoever that CDM might be. Can be Fred, they can be Matic or McTominay. I don't know what we're going to be doing there. But I think he can play in the midfield too if the CDM is playing properly.
Yeah,
Who that CDM is going to be, I don't know.
I think if Varane hits hits the turf running and he fits straight in, which I'm sure he will do. He's a world class player. Then we don't need two CDMs.
Definitely. Agreed. I don't think we should be playing with two CDMs with this defense.
Yeah,
Bisaka has his problems. Positionally, but this defense, in my opinion, is world class. We have a great left back, two great centre backs. The right back is pretty good as well. But this defense, in my opinion, is world class, and we should not be playing with two CDMs. Definitely.
no, I honestly think if you play Champions League away, then you play two CDMs, maybe, because you want
One
to
of them.
get a result. So I understand that, but not at home, especially home games, or if we're going to somewhere like, Burnley or somewhere like that where they
Southampton.
Yes, Southampton play a high. To be fair, we were winning that game, and then the changes didn't work. When Sancho came on, it didn't work. Martial didn't have the best game, but when we made the changes, about 5-10 minutes after that, Southampton were on top. So sometimes changes don't work.
Ole
Yes,
actually.
now I have a question about Ole's tactical, I would say, inability during the matches. His substitutions very rarely work, and he doesn't make substitutions. What do you guys say about that?
I think the first reason this, like you mentioned, the first reason the substitutions don't work is there are rarely any of them made for them to work. That's the first problem. Secondly, we've argued that of course we did not have the same bench strength. That is partially true, but even what was at his disposal, that was rarely. So tactically, it's not just about making changes. If you might notice, is that we have a game plan that has to be executed from A to Z, and there are rarely ever you ever see any changes, even positional changes. It's just that this is how we're going to play, and then let's see
Very
what happens.
systematic.
So that might have to change now.
I think that the criticism on Ole and substitution is slightly unfair because if you remember last season, Southampton away game, we were 2-0 down, and he brought Cavani on, and he changed the game. But he had Cavani to bring on. He didn't have. Who could he have brought on other than Sancho and Lingard the weekend? So, it's you can only in cards they say you can only play with the hand that you dealt. So I think he will be more extravagant with his substitutions. He's got he can put who he wants on.
For example, I would say that in this, I
Final
guess,
Europa
UEFA
League.
Super Cup, Chelsea were playing, I guess, Villarreal, and it went to penalties. And Tuchel brought in Kepa on for Mendy because he was good at penalties. But when our match went on penalties, we already knew that Henderson is a better penalty stopper than De Gea, and he didn't bring in Henderson in that match. So I guess these are some crucial decisions which
But guys,
need balls to be taken.
you know,
Balls to be taken. to have. That is something that is missing in all
But
his
after the Villarreal
tactics.
game, I was very disappointed. But when you look at the quality of the penalties they were doing, I don't know how many people would have saved them from both sides. You know,
Yes.
it was just unbelievable. They're all like top corner. Every single penalty was in the corner. It was like, how do you save them? So, yeah, I think penalty saves. De Gea doesn't have a good record, but then we don't concede many penalties as well. But the penalties that Villarreal took was stupid. Because afterwards, you said that when you watch it back again, you think, my God, that was something else. Because even the goalkeeper's penalty was good.
I
Yes,
think
but not ours.
changing the goalkeeper is a substitution that's not made every week. But I would slightly disagree. I mean, for example, if we are saying that there wasn't enough bench strength, but we're also saying that Van de Beek did not get any game time at all. There were so many games that you had McTominay and Fred, and you had all the ball. You could have maybe given Van de Beek more game time, but nothing. Even the players that were on the bench were rarely used. So I think that was the bigger problem than not having those players at all. That's how I see it.
Yes.
I think Ole frustrates fans sometimes because you can't argue with his away record. By the way, it's just unbelievable. But when we looked at when you look at the games and you look back at them, not when you watch it live, when you watch it again like a replay, you see things slightly different. And I don't, as a fan during the game live, especially when you're at the stadium, you think you're like, why are you not changing it? Because you can see this, it's like stale or nothing's happening. But then he gets paid to do his job, and so many times I've said, take him off and do that, and then the person that they're supposed to, I want taking off, he goes and scores a goal. So what do we know? Do you know what I mean? That happens as well.
I think it's a bit
Okay,
of
we
a
have
mixed
a
bag.
question now. Yeah. Okay. Go
I
on.
think it's a bit of a
You
mixed
can
bag
go.
here. I think Ole did not have a proper bench last season. That is true, but there were still opportunities that Van de Beek should have been given, and also the fact that the youth. I always bring up this point, and everyone says that nahi, this is a wrong point, but I still think the youth has not been integrated the way it should have been, the way the United way has always been. There in the last 3 years, we've only had Mason Greenwood come through, who has become a proper player. Other than that,
Brandon Williams.
in Brandon
Brandon
Williams,
Williams.
was not has not performed well ना. तो या तो वो डेवलप कर लिया हमने, वो डेवलप
नहीं,
नहीं
मेरा
कर.
ख्याल है उसका फर्स्ट सीजन तो काफी अच्छा था, एज इन मेरी
हाँ हाँ
एक्सपेक्टेशन
हाँ.
से तो कुछ बहुत अच्छा था. Now
The
we have
other
seen
thing is that
Elanga last season we have.
last game that was
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
proper chance.
he was good.
My point was regarding Ahmad. Even Phil Foden was given a chance like in the last 10 or 15 minutes of every game. I think when Mata was being brought on, Ahmad could have easily been brought on for the last 15-20 minutes in games like Newcastle away or anything like that. We were winning 3-2, and then he brought Mata on. So I think we had some players that could have been developed. Ahmad was not given a proper chance. He scored against Milan. The right thing would have been to start him, or at least give him 20-30 minutes. The next game he was totally removed. After the Milan goal, he played against Newcastle last game. So it's also on Ole to not develop the bench. But also it is also true that we did not have a proper bench last season. 2 or 3 players. I used to look at the bench and I was like, कुछ भी नहीं है. There was Mata, there was James, there was, I don't know, there was nothing at all on the
But
bench.
now there is no excuse. I think we have
Definitely,
plenty of
definitely.
bench players, bench strengths right now in this season. So I think this excuse is now done that we don't have
Agreed,
players.
agreed,
So
agreed.
now it would be all on Ole how he uses the players right now.
100%, 100%.
This
Yeah,
point.
I totally agree. Last season was an excuse. I'm with the brother here. When you looked at the bench, like, how can you change this? Do you take, Bruno off and put Van de Beek on, or do you take Pogba off and put Van de Beek on? That's the only substitutions you could really do.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? The games I was looking, who can you
Yeah.
bring on? And
Yeah,
then,
that's why Rashford was overutilized, and Bruno also at the end of the season they were just finished, and
yeah,
Rashford was already struggling with injury, and he didn't undergo any surgery because of that, because he had to play with the injured knee. So that was because we didn't have much bench strength. But now I think we have plenty of it, and I think it's all on Ole how he uses this squad under him. Now we have a question from Sayyid Zulkarnain, which number is Cavani getting? But I think Cavani is not getting any change. I think he will be still the number 7, and Ronaldo might be getting some other number.
Yeah,
I think we'll keep the number.
yeah. I think there was. I was watching the news channel here, and they were saying that once the league numbers have been officially given to the league, you can't change it. You can get special dispensation, but we don't have a good reason other than Ronaldo. So I think Ronaldo maybe next year will get.
I think it depends on the players who has the number right now. So if
No, no,
Cavani
no,
wants to give up, then
not up
he
to
can.
Cavani.
No.
It's up to the league now, because
Okay.
once you put the official league numbers in, which Manchester United
Hmm.
have, then you can't change them unless you get special dispensation. But we have to have a good reason,
Okay. Okay.
and not that we signed a new player.
So which number will Ronaldo get?
I think 28 is free,
20.
27.
unless we sell. Unless we,
28 minus 7, 21. 21 and 22.
if, if, if we, something like that. If we sell Phil Jones, number 4 might be free.
No, I want now this next question from Zulkarnain is we should just get rid of the likes of James and or Lingard. We have 8 to 9 players now who can play as front three. This is too much, and I think James should be sent on loan or somewhere, and maybe 21 Ronaldo could get, and that might be the next league title for us.
I think Lingard should stay. What Lingard did at West Ham was the same Lingard that used to play before Jose Mourinho took over. He was the same player. That's the kind of player we had when we had, Lou Van Gaal. That player then was unbelievable. And I think he had personal issues, which we've read about, and he had family issues. So he had a lot of problems going on. So I think for Ole to send him on loan to West Ham was a good move for him to get his confidence back. And now, if we've still got the same Lingard, then you need players like
But
that.
I think he should not have been brought back to the club. I think we should have cashed him in for Declan Rice, which we need the position that we need right now as a defensive midfielder. I think we should have cashed Lingard because I don't see Lingard play in the playing 11 right now. We have so many players at that position.
But you have a long season, and you need a big squad. So you will, people like Lingard can come on for the last 20 minutes, so they can start games, because you can't burn. We just said it earlier. We burnt Bruno out, we burnt Rashford out, we burnt Greenwood out. Why? Because we didn't have anybody else to come in their place. Lingard will get his fair share of games. You need strength in depth. No point from the back door. We lose players. You need a big squad. Alex, if you remember the teams of Alex Ferguson, you had 4 players for one position. He had 4 strikers, and he had 8 midfielders and 8 defenders, and each one were first team players, and that's what we should think instead of. And plus, it's not coming out of our pockets. The Glazers need to put something back. So if we have a big squad and we keep Lingard, good for us.
Okay. What do you guys say? We should keep Lingard or sell him?
What are you asking?
You both can. Ali, you go first then.
I think that the problem with keeping Lingard is that there will be excuses on part of the Glazers that the squad is too big and we do not have funds. I think that could be one problem of keeping Jesse. Even before we signed Ronaldo, the official stance was that we have to sell to buy. So that is one problem with keeping Lingard. I do not have a problem with keeping him on the bench, but I think Lingard is a good enough Premier League player for a top 7 to 8 team, like he proved at West Ham. I think he should not be staying for his own sake at Manchester United. I do not mind him as a bench player coming on and off for the last 10 or 15 minutes, but he will not make the World Cup squad like that. And I think he has the potential. He's a really good player. For his sake, he has to move. I do not mind him keeping him at the club, but the cost should not be not signing Declan Rice, or the cost should not be receiving excuses from the board that his squad is too big and that we have to sell to buy. As far as James is concerned, he's a little bit more interesting. I think we do have buyers for James. I think there were 2 or 3 clubs interested in him for, I think, 20 to 25 million. But I think Ole is not interested in selling him. He wants to keep James, and he's definitely going to stay.
I think Lingard will definitely go. It's absolutely out of question that again, as much for his sake as for United, because obviously he won't get a game. And but
Agreed.
going
Agreed.
on to going back to what happened last year, Lingard's case proved that it wasn't just a case of not having the bench strength, because you clearly had a player who went on to become the Premier League Player of the Year, for Premier League Player of the Month for another club, who
Hmm.
you did not even thought was good enough to make your bench, but was obviously good enough in a different environment. I think the problem last year was that yes, we did not have as good a bench as we have now, obviously, but also that the plan was never to utilize anyone else. You had a fixed
Agreed.
playing
Agreed.
11 and did not have a plan B. It's not just about the personnel. You need plan. Even if you have the same 11 that you have right now, even if you have the bench, and you need multiple plans. If this doesn't work, you need to have something else.
Definitely.
That's it.
Also, just the fact that you cannot expect to play 20 games with a starting 11, or with 13 or 14 player, and in the 21st or the 22nd game you ask a player to come in and you expect him to do the job. They will not be match sharp. They will not be doing a proper job. Donny Van de Beek, I was checking his stats yesterday. He started 4 games last season in the Premier League. Now, if that is a proper chance, then I don't know what that was really unfair on his part. But also in the centre back department, Tuanzebe wasn't given a proper chance again. I think Tuanzebe should have been given a proper chance. I was checking his stats yesterday as well. I think he started 5 or 6 games. Now, I was having a conversation with someone else. He said that Tuanzebe was making errors when he came in. He is going to make errors when you're going to play him 1 game in 25 games. So, when we were sticking with Lindelof, when we were holding him as our while he was making mistakes, I think it is all also on Ole. We did not develop on Zebe, we did not develop Van de Beek, we did not develop Ahmad. This then should have been developed in a way that when needed, they should have been able to start. But we were honestly playing with 13 or 14 players.
Mostly just Bruno.
I think
Obviously.
I think
Okay, guys, I have more questions coming up. Can we take more questions?
Sure.
Sure, sure.
Noman is asking how the club will deal with Anthony Martial. Okay, this was my question as well. But what do you guys say?
I think Martial's coming back to fitness. You got to remember he was injured for the large part of the end. But last season at the end he was injured, and to get match fit takes time. So I watched him the last 2 games. He's not match fit. You can tell he's not match sharp. It'll take time because he's a speed player and he plays on confidence. Confidence will come with his match fitness. But you need, like I said, we need a squad. Martial won't get in front of Ronaldo when Ronaldo is fit, but then Ronaldo can't play the game. So, and Ronaldo will need legs. He needs someone to play with him. I think he will work better as a 2 instead of a 1. And Martial could be that person, and Rashford could be that person. So he will swap and change. Last season, when we hit at the end, when we lost Martial and Rashford, and Greenwood was tired, Villarreal game was yet, we could have done with all them people. And Martial, before he got injured, was playing really well, by the way. So, it's all about, as the manager, he now needs to balance and rotate the squad.
But if you are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, do you keep Martial or you sell him? Now we have squad depth and plenty of players at that position.
I think you have to remember Cavani is 34, is he? And maybe one more season. And Martial's still young. He's coming to his peak now. Do you know what I mean? So why would you want to get rid of him as soon as he hits his peak? You want to play him in his peak years. Professional footballers don't hit the peak till they reach 24, 25, 26. And if we want to sell him now, somebody else is going to get the best years out of him. So I say stick with him.
The thing with Martial is that he's very inconsistent. That is the problem with him. As we see, he will play like a world class player for 2, 3, 4 games, and then he's nowhere to be seen in the match, like we saw against Southampton. And okay, this was one of the matches he was coming back from injury and everything like that. But even in other seasons, we see that few matches he is like world class. He plays like a world class player, but and in other matches he's very inconsistent. He is nowhere to be seen. He's pocketed by even simple, not very world class defenders. That is the problem with Martial that I have seen. But what you guys say?
So, as far as Martial is concerned, I think he's not going to be competing with Ronaldo or Cavani up top. I think his days as a centre forward of Manchester United are done. I think he's not a proper centre forward. I think he'll be playing left wing whenever he does. Or people were raving last season about his hold up play, and and the fact that he's a main cog in the team and he runs the team and he's very important. Even when he was not scoring, people are saying that he plays a pivotal role in our build up play. But when Cavani came, we really saw what a proper striker does. And so with Ronaldo and Cavani up top, I don't think Martial is going to get any game time up top. And whenever those who are not available, I think now with the way Mason has started the season, he'll be preferred up top. So I think he'll be playing left wing and with competing with Rashford or maybe Pogba. So I think that is a big important season for Martial. If he does not kick in this season as well, I think we have not seen a proper world class Martial for 38 league games, even in one of the seasons. He was really good against. I think he was really good in one season actually, the Van Hal one. Other than that, he's really on and off. I love Martial. I've been a big advocate of his for the last 2 or 3 years, but I think that is one crucial season for him. And if he cannot take it to the next level, I think we need to move these players on to just take it to
I,
the next level.
yeah, I think if you go back to last season, Martial was brilliant before he got injured. He had and he was consistent, and we started seeing the proper Martial. And if he can get, it is to do with fitness, and not every game they're going to play good. I agree, and he has been really consistent. But then he didn't. I mean, you look at the managers, look at the way the club changed, Van Gaal, and then Jose Mourinho. These players have to cope with their style. One was you play here, then we know Jose Mourinho was really rigid. You can't, you stay to your position, you can't move, you can't go left. So he's had to adapt to all that, and he was still a young player. And then has he really been able to express himself? Last season I thought we saw a really good Martial at the end before he got injured. If he can get back to the form that he showed at the end of, at least 10, 15 games before he got injured, then we've got a good player on our hands. And I agree with the brother there. I think his days at centre forward, he's down now, but we do, he's brilliant from the left coming in. He can still go past people, and we need that. So you have Sancho on the right, because for 2 seasons we've been saying we need a right winger. We've now got a real right winger. A proper right winger. On the left, we've got Martial and we've got Rashford who can both play that role, and on the right you've got Greenwood and you've got Sancho who can play that role, and then you've got Ronaldo up front. But I think we're forgetting something else. Cavani's not going to play many games this season because of the COVID restrictions, unless they get changed in the UK. Because if he goes to play in these friendlies, he has to quarantine for 10 days, 11 days in a UK hotel. So, and then there's another 3-week break, and then there's another. He's going to miss about 15, 16 games, somebody said today, just through hotel quarantine. So, we're not going to see much of Cavani till after Christmas. And before Christmas, whilst his international friendlies are on and all this, and he still goes to play, then you're not really, you can discount Cavani as a main starter every week.
वली भाई आप क्या कहेंगे?
I personally don't think Martial has a future at United at all. I mean, Even last year, even before he got injured, he was struggling at the start of the season. It was at the end of the 2019-2020 season, after COVID lockdown,
Yes,
that
yes, he was
he was
great.
playing inside.
Hmm.
That's when he scored a lot of goals and he was in great form.
Yep.
Before that, like it was already mentioned, it was under Van Hal when he was coming in from the left. So again, he's not even consistently good in a consistent position. So it's not just that he's not been consistent. Even the glimpses that he has shown, has they have been in different positions. You need to ask yourself, first of all, Ronaldo and Cavani aren't going to be here forever. It's just a couple of years maximum between the two of them. Is Martial the future number nine? I think we've already discussed. He's not even going to be a number
No.
nine at all this season. He's probably going to play at the
Hmm.
left. He's going to play at the left? Is he that good? We don't. I personally, I don't care about talent. I don't care how talented a person is or how talented a player is. It's about what you do on the pitch and how frequently you do it. You might be a world beater on a given day. You don't care.
Mm.
Leagues are won across 38 games. Is Martial ever going to be that consistent? I don't think so. The problem is basically with his own attitude. You can have any manager. You can blame Mourinho. You can blame anyone. Unless he pulls himself up, unless he pulls his own sauce and say, okay, I want to do this, I want to be as good as I can be, he's not going to be that good. And I don't see him doing that.
Hmm. Yes, I
But
have the same point of view.
he shaved his hair off now, so he must be in business.
Thierry Henry.
Okay, we have another question from Noman, and I think club needs to sell Lingard. He did well at West Ham United. I also think that, but for the sake of squad depth, maybe Fernandes won't play every match of the season, but we should play Donny van der Beek. But Solskjaer doesn't like him, so maybe Lingard will play if he stays.
Also, there is one
Um,
thing. There was one thing I just wanted to mention. We have been criticized for not being able to sell players and overpaying for players for the last 2 or 3 seasons. I think there has been a major improvement in the last 2 seasons in this transfer window, and I think the last transfer window as well. When Dortmund were asking exorbitant figures for Sancho, we did not bite. This
hmm.
season, I think we've negotiated really well for both Varane and Sancho. And I think if you're going to sell Lingard for whatever West Ham are paying 12, 13, 14, 15 million, you are depreciating your future sales as well, in my opinion. So that is why I think the club is doing really well to hold on for the 25 or 30 million, whatever they are demanding, even if Lingard stays. What happens is that if you sell Lingard, the clubs do have a notion in their mind that Manchester United will overpay for players and they will undersell their players. We did not receive anything for Sanchez. We did not receive anything for Darmian. We did not receive anything for Ashley Young. Now these are players that have value in this market. Tammy Abraham, for fuck's sake, went to AS Roma for 40 million. Zuma 30 million West Ham. I mean, Chelsea's sales are amazing. So I think for the future reference and to maintain the sales of our future, maintain our future sales, I think it is right to not sell Lingard for whatever 12, 13, 14, 15 million West Ham are paying.
Absolutely. And let's not forget, Lingard is an young English player, proven himself in the Premier League. He's in the England
Yep, yep.
squad right
English
now.
text.
Yeah, he has multiple, caps for England. So it's not. It's just that we have trolled Lingard so much, we don't know how to sell him, well enough, to get it worth
But
a while.
we're not a
He
selling.
builds. His profile is top drawer, absolutely.
United never been a selling club,
Okay.
buying club.
I think if
Yes,
if
absolutely.
Lingard is at West Ham and Manchester United go asking for him, we will be quoted 50 million. That's what I think.
Or more.
Yeah, but he's better than Kurt Zuma.
Okay, Aban Mirza says hi. Hi, Aban. Thank you for watching. Zulkarnain is saying Guy pocketed Neymar and Mbappe. Who? Which
Tuanzebe.
guy?
He is probably talking about Tuanzebe here.
Tuanzebe?
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. I think.
That was an unbelievable performance against PSG.
Great performance. Great performance.
Yes. Aban is saying what will be priority midfield options? Okay. So we start with Khuldun.
I think you have a mechanism now to fit in Fernandes and Pogba as two of the three. That's how I see the lineup. I think McTominay is going to be the third, and then you have your forwards. I think that's going to be the first choice midfield.
Do they need to sign one more DMF? Okay. Yes, we have already talked about it. We really need one DMF, but I don't think we will get him in this transfer window. Maybe next one but we need to sell before we buy someone. So we need to get rid of Matic or Fred someone or both of them, then we can buy someone like Kamavinga or Ruben Neves. We were linked in this transfer window.
I think again, let's see how we play this season. If we only need one DM, Scott McTominay can do that job. We know that. You know what I mean? And Scott McTominay has got drive. He goes forward. He's got a lot of energy, and he can tackle. We know he can do that. Now, Fred, he's a different type of player. He breaks play up and he's bitty and gets in people's faces. He's a different type of player. So, you know, horses for courses. However, let's see how Ollie plays. And if he still plays with two holding midfielders, then we definitely need a DM. But if you ask me, beginning of the transfer window, we're going to get Varane, Sancho, and we're going to sign Ronaldo. I wouldn't believe you.
Also, brother,
Same
I
here.
don't think it is possible to play with two CDMs with the attacking threat that we have right now, because to fit in the two midfielders, he was shifting Pogba to the left wing. I don't think he can now shift Pogba to the left wing. He has to accommodate Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford, all of these talents combined with Martial as well. So I think what he's going to do is bring Pogba in the center, Fernandes up top, and he's going to try to find that CDM in either in the three that we have left, in Matic, Fred or McTominay. Whoever performs well will get that second position with Pogba, and Donny will probably be rotating with Fernandes and Pogba. That's what I think.
Totally agree. I agree.
Yes,
I
I also
don't-
think so.
I don't think the days of Fred and McTominay as a guaranteed starter, I think them days are over.
It's not possible. It's not possible. Pogba has to play, and Pogba can't go on the left because of the talent we have up top.
Okay, we have another question. Cavani should start a few games as well. Sometimes Ole has to change the formation. I think he will start. He will start a few games, maybe in the League Cup, EFL or FA Cup, or maybe Champions League. We might see Cavani playing up
As long as Cavani's not in a hotel isolating, then maybe he will start.
top. Yes, absolutely. Otherwise, we will see CR7 starting up top every game.
I actually checked last night. I think he is supposed to miss 8 or 9 games in total, but I'm not sure how accurate that stat
It's
is.
about 2 months. It's about 2 months. I've heard.
That is 8
Maybe
games.
September and October.
Yeah, that's right.
That I have heard.
8 to 10 games probably, if you include EFL or UCL.
Yeah. So
Okay, Faiz Khan is saying, "Viva Ronaldo." I was not expecting this chant last night, because most of us were cursing Ronaldo because he was going to the noisy neighbors. But yes, I'm glad this chant is back.
No, it's
Okay.
a good day, as I said. It's been a good day.
Noman is saying, where do you guys think United can finish in the league, and which player will surprise us the most? Okay, one by one you can answer. Maybe if you can go first.
I think even with Ronaldo, I think Greenwood this year is gonna be my play to watch. I think he's gonna get better and better every season, in fact. And if he's got likes of Ronaldo and Cavani to learn from, and Bruno and Pogba pick a pass. And I think one thing we're forgetting as well, I think Pogba will sign a new contract. I think he will now stay.
Hopefully, yes.
You know, this when he sees what's around him, who's come or why they've come, the intentions of United, I think he will sign. And people say, oh, he can go, but I need him to stay. I think he's even more important than Ronaldo coming.
We had that Pogba debate before with Khuldoon and Kashif as well, and they both think that he should leave, otherwise he should play every game like he plays for France. So that we had a debate, but I also think that he should stay. I mean, attacking wise, in a proper position, I don't think we have that type of player right now in our squad as Pogba is. Already has 5 Premier League assists this season.
See, these guys are quiet now. I watch that because they laid into Pogba, but
No,
they see
I
2 games.
I am not a Pogba fan at all. I think he has everything to prove. He's been here for 5 years. I don't think he's done anything to deserve the the kind of support that he gets from a lot of the fans. I personally don't think so. I think
I
he has a lot of
completely, I completely agree. I don't think he has put in more than 4 or 5 world class performances in the last 5 years. He
exactly.
has not performed at all. I don't know where the hype comes from. I think it comes from France, where he just plays like a world class player because he has done absolutely nothing. I can count the number of games he's played well for United. That City comeback we did, and these 2 games, and maybe the Burnley and Fulham games last season. 5 games in total in the last 5 years. So, and maybe the start of the
No,
Jose
but
era. Start of the Jose era, he
the
was good.
start of the Ole era,
Yep, yep,
the
yep.
first, I
So
think, five,
I
six
think,
games, he was
yep,
good
yep,
for us.
agreed, agreed. So I think the amount of support he gets, he does not deserve it. But I really hope he kicks in, and we get a proper Pogba the way he plays for France. I would love to make him see him play like he does for France, but I don't think he really has been performing well for us. And as far as our finish is concerned, I think it's anyone's league at this point. City, Chelsea, United, in my opinion, are the favorites. So just for the sake of our well-being, I think we're winning the league. And as far as the which player is going to surprise us the most, I'll agree. I think it's going to be Mason Greenwood. I think he's going to have a great season if he plays, and even if he does not play, he'll learn a lot from Cristiano. And in 2 years, I think we'll have a number 9 ready, inshallah.
Yeah, I believe so. And for just to close off the Pogba debate, obviously last season nobody went to see any live games because of COVID, but the the seasons I've watched Pogba play, when you watch TV, you only see like the player on the ball. They don't show the whole pitch. But when you watch a game live, it's very different. And when you see Pogba get the ball, you can see him looking for runners, or you're looking for someone to make movement to do something. And when you're live, you can see that, and they didn't used to happen for him, because of the Mourinho style. People were too rigid, and he would look up, and then he would make a very simple pass. Whereas now he's pinging the ball here and pinging the ball there because people are making runs. People need to make runs for him, and he will find the players. But you would see him get the ball, and he would look up, and you could, when you watch it live, you can see him looking to pass someone to make a run, but nobody used to make a run. Even in Ollie's earlier days, that used to happen as well. And so the Pogba you see on TV or for France, you have Mbappe and people like that making runs for him, so he can find a pass. But United was really static, and I've been there, seen him, and I'm sure you guys have. But when you see Pogba in live, when he has the ball and you see his options, then you realise it's not his fault because no one's doing anything for him. And that used to be a problem, but now you've got runners, you've got legs in Greenwood, Rashford, you've got legs, so things are changing.
I think
But
that's
regarding
the
That's
Pogba,
something.
the Pogba debate is never ending. You can never end that debate. But that is just one aspect of the
exactly,
whole debate
exactly.
itself. Because the thing is, there is no doubt the team itself had a lot of weaknesses. It's not just you did not have a lot of runners, you did not have a good defense, you did not have a proper defensive midfielder, you did not have a striker who scored. There was issues everywhere. But somehow we only seem to make excuses for Pogba's performances. Everyone else would. The biggest issue with Pogba is he is a world class player, no question about that. It's just that he does not, or at least for the past 5 years, he is not, you know, proven or showed that he cares enough. You would want to put you. He does not want to put in the the shift to, so to speak. It's not about the talent. It's not about the flaws with the team. And I think now he has everything in place. And even when Bruno first came, he obviously Bruno sparked everyone. It was the same team, same squad. It was completely dull. But when he came, he had the same flaws, but he had the mentality to know I will make this team click. Pogba never had that. Pogba did not have the leadership that we were expecting from someone who he was the
Yeah,
highest.
I,
Yes,
I
that,
take that
that's
point. I take that point, but then I'm old enough to watch Cantona make his debut in the team that we had, and yet it was the same players, and then we went on to dominate. The only difference was the spark, and that spark was Cantona from Leeds. So, one player can make the difference, and that ignited that team. It was just the transformation was unbelievable, and I saw that with my own eyes. And It happens sometimes. One player makes you gel, and that happens.
I'm also relatively old enough to have seen those. But Pogba wouldn't play, uh, another game if he defended in the midfield like he has done over there. Sir Alex Ferguson would not give him another game if he did not put in his 100%. He's barely
But
playing around 30, 40, 50, 60% of that's the biggest difference. If you're not putting in the effort, it does not matter how talented you are, and that's how it was with Sir Alex and those teams.
yeah, I agree. I think, but these players now, they don't have to answer to us, Sir Alex Ferguson. That's the other problem. You're not the manager, because
Yes, I think Ole is not ruthless enough.
I think the style of these players are so big now. They the man management is more important now than aggression.
Hmm.
Being a dictator or dictatorial management is look at Jose Mourinho. His is dictatorial management, and it doesn't work. That brand of management is it's now confrontational. So
Long gone.
yes, these new players, they're different to the players before. The other players were, I would say, a little more humble. These newer players are not as humble, so they need managing different, motivating different. Them guys for Sir Alex Ferguson, just to play for Sir Alex Ferguson was their motivation. In fact, I believe Sir Alex Ferguson brought Ronaldo back. So,
And Bruno and Sir Alex.
yeah,
Wali bhai, what would you say for this question? Where will United finish in the league?
I wouldn't say that we will win the league, and I don't want to make a negative prediction, but my surprise player would be an actual surprise. I think McTominay is going to have a really good season. I think it's
I
now
agree.
his position.
I agree.
I think he'll be the first choice defensive midfielder. I don't think we'll make another signing. And I think given the attacking talent in front of him, and given that he can play, he plays really well in high tempo games, and we'll have a lot of high tempo games this season. I think he'll have a really good season.
yeah,
I
I
agree. I
agree.
agree.
I think
He was brilliant in the lead game in the Leeds game, by the way.
I think this year's title is going to be between us and Chelsea, not City.
Yes, City looks a bit weak as per the striker concerns are
Not just the
going
strike.
on.
They rely too much on.
There's that
Kevin De Bruyne?
Yeah.
Really sorry to go back to that Pogba topic, but just one last technical aspect of Pogba's game I've noticed is that in international games you do get a lot of time on the ball. In Premier League you do not get time on the ball, and we do see Pogba losing the ball in the center of the midfield, and that is one reason I think Pogba has not been able to shine the way he did in Serie A and the way he did in international games. Is that you do not get that much time on the ball. He loses the ball a lot.
This just could be my observation, but when Pogba loses the ball, the opposition go and score. When somebody else loses the ball, inevitably will win it back. It doesn't look like.
Okay, so Musaddiq has asked, do you see Greenwood as our main striker?
No,
After signing Ronaldo,
no, absolutely.
No,
He's
no
out.
chance.
Maybe in a few years,
Oh yeah,
2, 3, 4 years, but not now, of course.
I think he'll be ready in 2 years when Ronaldo leaves. If he leaves in 2 years, I think he'll be ready. 2 years.
I hope so. And
But he's good from the right wing as well. On his left or his right, he has scored so many goals from the right wing as well.
This graphic has 3 right wingers. Ahmad will probably be leaving, so I think he'll be fine. He'll be switching places with Sancho on the right wing. I think we'll be fine.
cover that, and Martial and Rashford will cover the left.
Yep.
Okay, Noman has asked, and Ole has to decide between De Gea and Henderson. If he sticks with De Gea, we might lose Henderson. What do you guys say?
I don't think so. I think he just signed a long-term contract. I think Henderson will make. I think he's made De Gea, fight for his place.
Who is your number one right now for United?
Me, I still think he's De Gea. As a shot,
And
I think
Ali for you.
for me, it's De Gea. I do not get the Henderson hype at all. I don't think that he is justified to play for Manchester United. But at the same time, I don't think De Gea is at his prime right now. We'll need a new goalkeeper, but it's not a pressing need right now. I don't think both of them are good enough. But if you ask me between the two, I think I'll take De Gea.
No, I
Believe
think
it. I
I just
know you will go with Henderson as usual.
I do, but I do agree that Henderson still has a lot to prove. I think, given the recent performances, Henderson did sort of even till the Europa League final, he sort of did become our number one temporarily. But I think this team, given the star-studded team, given the characters in this team, you need De Gea. Now this team needs De Gea in goal, but not the De Gea post 2018, the De Gea before 2018. That's the De Gea we need right now.
Really
Let's
hope
hope
so.
we get him. But yeah, there are question marks over his
you know
future.
De Gea for 2-3 seasons kept us in the top 5, top 6
True, true.
because of
Agree.
single-handedly. We
But that's
forget.
like 3 years old, you know.
Yeah, so I think he still has it. I think the Henderson is going to push him, and I think that is good. I think we will see that, and you see when we conceded the goal, Southampton, you see his reaction. That's what you want to see. He was, he was,
Mm.
and what are you doing, guys? Whereas I agree. A couple of seasons ago, or maybe end of the season before, he was like pick the ball up, throw it back. It wasn't there was no passion there. I noticed that. Not like, and if you saw the goal against Southampton, he was very angry, and that's what you want to see because then that's the day you want. He
I
has to
think
give his.
All right. This is,
we should
I
all
guess, the last question we'll take, and then we'll wrap it up. So, who will be the captain? As we all know, Ronaldo is a dominating figure on the ground. Okay, this is an interesting point actually. So, Maguire has the captain's armband, but we already know two Portuguese stars who are more than capable of becoming club captains. So, would you stick with Maguire, or would you make Ronaldo captain for maybe next season, or what would you say?
No, absolutely. Even if Roy Keane came back, Harry Maguire should be our captain.
I
He
agree.
has earned his right, especially at the end of last season. He has absolutely. I mean, we were as critical as anyone, as far as
100%.
Maguire's performances are concerned. But you don't do that. You don't first make a person prove himself. He's done what a lot of other United players haven't done. He's proven himself as a player, as a captain. He's proven himself
Hmm.
again at the Euros, not just as a defender, but as a leading figure, taking the penalty in the shootout and all that. I mean, changing the captain should be out of question right now. It shouldn't even be a question.
I agree.
Hmm.
I think when Bruno first came, I wanted Bruno to be captain. I was one of them saying he should be captain. But then in hindsight, um, I've changed my mind, and I think Maguire is definitely the club captain. And the other thing as well is you don't need one captain. You need many captains on a pitch. You need leaders. And now we have leaders. We have so many leaders. They need to step up. Varane is a leader. Um, De Gea is a leader. When he's, the De Gea
Hmm.
against Southampton, because he didn't go, that's what you want. Maguire is a leader. Bruno is definitely a leader. Then you've got Ronaldo front now. Cavani, these people are, they're all winners. And when you talk about winners, you need leaders in every position. And we have that now. Before 2-3 seasons ago, before Maguire, who did we have?
Hmm. No, even
Exactly.
Varane is a leader now. We
Yeah,
have Varane; he's a leader at the back.
yeah. It's. I think, and the other thing as well, people criticize Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka doesn't trust. When you go and watch him live again, you see it differently. He's always
Hmm.
looking over his shoulder to see where Lindelof's gone. It's weird. He's running forward and he's looking at Lindelof. What's he doing? You don't see that on TV, but I saw it live so many times, and I think when if he knows that he's got him behind him with the pace that Varane has, I think you'll see, because Wan-Bissaka started life as a winger, as a
Hmm.
forward who can tackle. So I think he will release him going forward this season because he knows he's got that guy there. But when you watch him live and you watch when Lindelof's playing, sometimes you wonder where Lindelof's going. His positional play was crazy. You would like
Hmm.
stay where you are. You don't need to go over there. Where you would like
Yes.
drift too far to the as you're looking at it, to the left.
Uh,
Why are you doing that?
We have conceded a lot of goals last season as well because of the positioning mistakes of Lindelof. So many goals. I could name a few, but I think the most important thing for a centre back is the positioning sense. If you don't have that, then I think the club is in trouble.
And the other problem we had was Lindelof, Bay, and Maguire all play on the right side of the defence.
Mm.
None of them
Yes.
play on the left side. So Lindelof is actually playing out of position. So was Bay. But
Mm.
position of Lindelof's is Maguire's position, and so
Mm.
we've now got a natural person in that first time we have in you know on the left side, if you will, of defence. So that is going to change.
Okay, last question for the day is this will be the season for Greenwood to learn. He will be world class in upcoming season. Ahmad also needs to stay. United should work on both of them. Greenwood and Ahmad are the future. I think Ahmad loan deal has already been done. He's going. So I don't think Ahmad will be here. But
I think
yes, of course.
I think it's still in the process. Crystal Palace and Sheffield are interested. Crystal Palace probably dropped their interest, and Sheffield is where he's going to go. And I don't think Sheffield is a proper loan for him. His play style does not suit Sheffield at all.
But
And
maybe he will play more than he will play for United. So maybe
I,
he should move.
probably that. But a player like Ahmad, I think a Premier League club like Norwich or maybe Newcastle or maybe Crystal Palace or even a Championship club that can guarantee him proper game time. Like
Hmm.
if he's going to Championship, he should be playing 35 games out of 46. So he
Yes.
should be getting proper game time, in my opinion, wherever
Yeah,
he goes.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think he definitely needs to go on loan this season, and I think he needs
Hmm.
to go on loan in order to get game time and get physically stronger.
Mm.
And next season we have him back. As
Absolutely.
and Greenwood, yeah, he's not this. It's up to him to learn, but he won't have a better role model than Cavani and Ronaldo.
Of course.
Ole just said a day ago that Ahmad might stay, so it's still
Yeah, if
uncertain.
if he stays, then he'll play on the under 23s, and
Yeah.
that's not standard as playing in the Championship or in the Premier League.
Mm.
So it's better he goes to a Championship side and gets 30 plus games under his belt than it is
Agreed.
Mm.
under
Agreed.
23. He'll learn more.
Agreed.
Yes, like Brendan Williams is now joining, I think, Norwich City
Yeah,
this season. So
I think that's good.
it's a good move for him. He will
Yeah.
develop further.
But I think if at the moment there's 4 days left, if Dalot leaves, because there's a lot of talk about Dalot leaving, then we might sign Trippier. If Dalot doesn't leave, then we won't sign Trippier. That's my thought on that. But then Dalot played really well the other day,
Yes.
so
So yes, what do you say?
you need cover for um, um, on the right side. You can't just rely on Wan-Bissaka.
Van Bissaka. Mm.
You
Of course.
need cover.
So maybe can we sign Trippier or Dalu will stay. I don't know. This between them, I guess, for
They
the
can't.
right side to cover the
If
right side.
they don't sign Trippier and get rid of Dalot, that would be a mistake.
I
Mm.
think we'll stick with Dallo. He has potential. He at least has future potential. Trippier would be another done asset in the next 2 years, and then we'll have to sell him for 2 or 3 million.
Like I said, boys, we're a buying club. We don't care about this pocket change.
Okay, that's all for the questions, answers, and it's all from our side as well.
Thank,
So it was anything you guys want to add before we sign off?
no,
Mm,
thank.
Go ahead.
So yes, I have a last question. What are your expectations with Cristiano Ronaldo for this season? How many goals do you expect for him to score?
I'm going to win the fantasy Premier League with him, my captain. I'm telling you now. That's a
That we shall see. We are all in the same boat.
I'm checking to see when he's going to, update it. I'm going to get rid of anybody. It doesn't matter. He's in.
He's taking penalties off Hernandez.
Right. And my son asked me before, who's going to take the penalties?
So I think maybe many people will get rid of Fernandes and bring Ronaldo because of the penalty duties.
Yeah, but it depends. Are they going to bring him in? Are they going to bring him as a forward, or are they going to bring him as a midfielder? We don't know.
Definitely a
I
forward.
think
Has to be a
striker,
striker.
striker.
Has
He
to be
would
a
be a
striker.
striker.
Has to be a striker.
Has to be a striker.
Also, I was checking
Yes.
Ronaldo's stats for the last 2 years. League goals have been 31 and 29 in the last 2 years. So I think 25 is a safe number. I think he'll get 25 goals
25 in the league
in the league.
or overall
League,
in the
league,
league.
league.
You
And
know,
your
Salah as captain. Watch how many changed to Ronaldo.
what is your expectation of Ronaldo? How many goals will he score in the league?
I
I'm more
think,
interested in what he does in the Champions League.
if we get anywhere near the Champions League, it'd be great. But I want to win the league now. I think this is really important for this team. And I think forget every other competition. The league is now the most important. If we can win the league with this team, then he will, even 2 years he leaves, this team will be on a high, and we can attract more players, etc., etc. So I think the league is priority this season, and I honestly believe it us and Chelsea.
Yes, I also think so that as well. I think Chelsea are the favorites for me right now, unless we sign a defensive midfielder. But we should be in the title race at least.
Yeah, I don't think City are going to be the same force they were at the last season. At the end, if we had a better start to the last season, we would have been closer. We had such a bad start to the season. That's what cost us.
Yes. So that's all from today's podcast. We sign off. Thank you, Khuldoon, Ali, and Iftikhar for joining. And we'll back with more podcasts, and hopefully we'll soon see Cristiano Ronaldo making his Old Trafford return. That would be huge, and just waiting to see how the crowd reacts with his chants and everything. So exciting and very emotional for us old United fans who have been seeing him for a long time. So that's all from Kickoff Conversation. And thank you for joining. Thank you for all the question answers. And we'll be back soon. Keep watching, keep sharing your opinions. And it's goodbye from my side. And we will
Goodbye.
see you soon.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Goodbye.